Okay, thanks very much for tuning in. So we'll take a look at two dashboards that I have recently completed. These have been polished up and are just about ready to be packed up and sent off to the respective customers. So we have two examples of a Triumph Spitfire dash panel set here. Obviously one is a right-hand drive and one is a left-hand drive. The one on the top is a standard layout for a Spitfire 1500. And the one on the bottom is a slightly modified dash panel set, again for a Spitfire 1500. Both dash panels have been finished in a Santos Rosewood veneer with a high build high gloss finish, which has been cut back and polished to a perfectly flat, flawless mirror shine. So we'll take a quick look at the top dash panel set first. As I mentioned, this is a standard layout for a late 1500. So you can see it has the shallower cutout there for the steering column, and it doesn't have the wash wipe controls fitted on the dash. These are now on the steering column. So you can see the lovely Santos Rosewood veneer there with high build high gloss finish. So the finish is hand flatted back before being machine polished to ensure that it's perfectly flat and flawless. If we take a look at the rear of the panel, then you can see that there's a full complement of new screws there for the edge trim, for the hazard pull switch, and for the corner bracket for mounting the dash panel. There's also a threaded stud fitted with a wing nut, large washer and a spring washer to secure the dash panel to the metal dash frame. And then of course we have my mark. Same deal then with the center panel. Nice polished finish, and on the rear we have two new screws there for the heater control plinth. And as always, the edges, the rear, and all of the cutouts have been finished in a contrasting brown paint to ensure that there is no ingress of moisture or dampness into the panels, which would ultimately affect the clear coat and then the veneer. So the panels are fully sealed up. And then we have the passenger side panel with the opening there for a cigarette lighter. And again, on the rear of the panel we have two threaded studs there with wing nuts. I still find it unusual that the dash panels that did come with the studs fitted from factory had a nut on the rear to secure them to the dash panel, so it just made life awkward trying to get up underneath the dash with a ratchet or a spanner trying to tighten the dash panel in place, when life could have been made a whole lot easier by just fitting wing nuts. So now these dash panels can be tightened from behind with just your fingers basically. You don't have to try and reach or try and get a tool in behind the dash panel. So just trying to make life easier for the customer, as well as fitting new screws there for the corner bracket also. Then the one beneath is a mid-range or mid-production I should say Spitfire 1500. There have been a couple of minor modifications made to this dash panel. One of these being that the customer opted just to have a single light fitted on the edge, this edge of the center panel, with a label underneath for brake. So he'll be popping in a red 12mm warning light into this position here. I should say on both dashes we have the label beneath the opening for the light, for the light switch. These labels are pretty close to the OEM, but unlike the OEM they're actually applied beneath the finish just for a more professional and finished look. Again, if we take a look at the rear of this panel, we can see a full complement there of brand new screws. I've seen enough original dashes now and taken apart enough original dashes to know that while the screws might look good on the surface, once you start removing them, they're generally quite rusty and it's a pain to try and clean them up and refit them. So again, just to make life easier for the customer, there's a whole complement of brand new screws there for all the fixtures and fittings. And finally, if we take a look at the passenger side panel, we see that the customer has opted to have a Spitfire badge fitted. So this is the badge that would have been fitted on the rear of the Spitfire Mark III. It's a chrome badge. Now this badge won't be included with the purchase, but the customer will be purchasing their own badge. So I bought this to ensure that the fit was good, fit and finish, which it is. It's quite nice there. It doesn't look out of place on the passenger side panel. And if we take a look at the rear, you can see that the rear has been recessed and we have 3 pins from the badge popping through there at the back. So I'll be supplying the customer with 3 little brackets or 3 washers, which will push on to those pins and secure the badge in place. Although it's quite tight as it is, it won't actually fall out, but I will be supplying the spring washers to grab onto those posts, just to ensure that the badge doesn't work itself loose. And again, we have the threaded studs and wing nuts fitted there. So these are M5 threaded studs, wing nuts, a large washer and a spring washer there, just to ensure that the wing nut doesn't work itself loose over time. And again, 2 new screws for the edge mounting bracket. With these dashes, there will be a set of new satin black screws. No point in popping in a brand new dashboard and then having to put back in the old screws again. So there will be a set of new screws coming with both of these dashes. Okay, so that's the 2 Spitfire 1500 dash panels in a Santos Rosewood veneer. If you'd like a dash panel like this made, be it standard or custom, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm always happy to help, discuss options and pricing, etc. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll chat to you soon.